Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new episode of 2013 Epic Geek Out, the only show on the internet where the D is silent. I'm your host Chad.
I'm your host Rob, and today we're going to be giving our review of Django Unchained.
As always, you can check us out over at Twitter at Epic Geek Out. Also make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/epicgeekout, and also check out the website, www.epicgeekout.com. But let's get into our review of Django Unchained.
So today we're talking about Django Unchained. It is Quentin Tarantino's new film. It stars Christoph Waltz, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Jamie Foxx as the title character. It's kind of the unofficial second movie in the revisionist history trilogy from Quentin Tarantino.
Which I had no idea that was a thing. But
yeah, I didn't either, but now it is, apparently. And the first one was Inglourious Basterds, which kind of took, I don't want to spoil it, even though the article I read totally spoiled it if you hadn't seen it. Kind of takes the World War II angle. This one, and it's not really a spoiler to say, kind of takes the slavery time period and kind of gives vengeance to the slaves. Has a character who kind of enacts revenge on the white
title
slave
character,
owner.
Django.
Yep. So basically, the minor overview of the plot is Django is rescued by Christoph Waltz, or purchased by him, to help him track down some brothers because he's a bounty hunter and he doesn't know what they look like. And as a reward for helping him, he agrees to set him free and then eventually help him find his wife, who was sold to another slave owner, which is Leonardo DiCaprio's character. Very interesting movie. Very what's the word? Because I was trying to recommend this to people, but then I was like, just a warning, it's very violent and there's a lot of it's of the N-word.
Yeah, I mean, this movie has caught some flack. Spike Lee, has gone on record and he hates Quentin Tarantino and, thinks he abuses, and makes light of different issues, whereas, Quentin Tarantino is then saying, this doesn't even show what really happened, like this, it was much worse than even this, of course, and I don't know. I mean,
it's like a spaghetti western take on the really awful things that happened during the slavery, and it kind of, and I think I read something where he said he wanted to bring to light those things that we never want to talk about and present it in a way that is genre based, and it's a Quentin Tarantino movie, and if you know anything about his movies, it is well written characters, very stylized, but interesting plot.
The dialogue is there to converse. The way things are set up. There's breaks in the movie where they talk about the holes in the bags and the eyes and they can't see, and it's like comical, but you're like, oh, but they're doing this thing, so it's very So
what did you think of the movie?
I really like this movie. Quentin Tarantino is very much a director, a writer, producer that you're either gonna love him or hate him. I really, I've never met someone who's like, Mets and Mets. You like him, but he has his own style, and it's his movie, and if that's your thing, that you're gonna love this movie. I mean, I really, enjoyed my time watching it. We saw Les Mis the day before, whereas, I was kind of antsy in my seat and couldn't wait to get out. Nothing in this movie felt long, overdone. Each piece of the movie, though it might have been convenient that, his wife spoke German, there were some very convenient moments of the movie that helped the plot move along, but they all felt like they deserved to be there. And each setup, each thing was, I wanted more time with them. There was a winter where they went and collected all the bounties. I wanted to see them collect each bounty and, kill this bad person in a way that was new and creative and, and added the plot. It was great. I really enjoyed the movie. I think that it is very controversial, and it certainly. I didn't think the violence was as bad as I expected it to be, though there were moments where it was, crazy.
Bodies.
Yeah, but it was done kind of in a. It was stylized, so at least I never thought it was gratuitous. Whereas they certainly used the N-word a lot, and other things where it was like it kind of made you feel uncomfortable while watching the movie. But then again, it is a point of time where people did speak like that, and that's So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that aspect of the movie, though I did really enjoy my time with it, and the characters were so good. The actors across the board, I thought, were great. Seeing Leonardo DiCaprio in this role of a bad guy, you know, which you don't get to see too often, and be really convincing at it, I thought it was great, and you know,
Christoph Waltz, amazing as
tremendous, and just it was just joyous to watch him perform that character. So I loved it. I mean, definitely go see it. It's great, and you know, one of the articles, you know, I was reading said, how can a rated R Western be making this much money? And it's really because Quentin Tarantino made it, and you know, it has his impact on it. So
the high star appeal. I as you saw on Tuesday, I did rank this up there as my number 2 favorite film of the year. And I know it's a little early because, you know, there's all these other films we've had time to kind of to digest them and feel them. And I think what did the turnaround for me was just how much fun, you know, we had in this film. The way that the characters are written, I think that's really telling of the films that I ranked this year, because the number 1 and 2 were the tension was built through the dialogue and the script. And the
That's what makes a good movie.
All very well written. And the Avengers is great. It's a big spectacle movie, but and the characters are great in that too. I mean, Joss Whedon, no offense to him, but it's just I think I can appreciate films that have little to kind of go on. They don't have that spectacle, but then they can make spectacle out of just script and writing.
When you can turn words, and this goes to something, you know, sorry to cut in, but like this goes into something like The Newsroom, where, you know, The Newsroom, there were no bullets flying, there was nothing like that, but there was language being used as a weapon, and, you know, all those movies kind of have that in it as well.
Yeah, and for the second film in a row, he's managed to have an awesomely tense scene in a dinner table.
Yeah.
And just with words and the way things are happening and the way he blocks out scenes, everything is just awesome and top-notch filmmaking. And I think that's kind of why I appreciate it and thought it was so good. I mean, it's like a buddy cop Western. Like it's two guys just
there's
going
a
down
lot of genres thrown in, but
the humor and the comedy, and you're kind of speaking to this, is just awesome. And like it's such a dense subject matter, like awful, you know, horrifying subject matter, but they inject humor into it. They inject like I was cheering for him at the end when he was like taking down white people that were like coming at him. It was awesome. Like you cheer for the lead character, and that's always awesome to be able to get behind the lead character. And I feel like the plot as a whole was very interesting. I was surprised as quickly as they found the 3 brothers. And the rest of the movie was really just him in the search of his wife. But I did.
It's a very segmented film in different parts and things like that.
And kind of what you were talking about with the winter time. I think that's when they're trying to build up their relationship.
Yeah.
Because I think like it could have gone the way of, I don't really buy why this guy's helping him so much, but they did just enough. I think they could have maybe done a little smidge more, but
they could have did more because it was kind of like
feel like he was invested in the relationship. But the only thing that was kind of my little problem with it, and I think I said this to you, is a lot of the first portion of the movie is Christoph Waltz kind of saying he's a bounty hunter, but he follows the law. He you know, he can kill these people and only kills the people that he can kill because it's legal, and he's doing it for the law and to get the reward. And he goes about things in such a calculated way that he never puts himself against the law, and he's always kind of working within the law. And then the second half of the movie kind of just balls to the wall, like everybody's just killing everybody, and you know, those rules are kind of thrown out the window. I was just kind of disappointed in that, because I feel like you built up this character to be such a you know, by the books, like moral person, because he's, you know, following the law, he's against slavery, but then at the end he ends up, you know, doing the one thing that he, you know, that is with his character.
And the other thing also, in their way to like, get his wife back, you know, it kind of like, it seemed too overcomplicated in what they were trying to do, and the way they set it up and the way they acted their roles and things like that. And it kind of seemed like, maybe if they just went in and offered a lot of money, I think they might have tried to, you know, I think that he would have, you know, sent it over. So like there were those, but then again, you're watching it and you're enjoying the entire time with the characters, so you're not really, you know, that's nitpicking when the movie's over. So.
Yeah, for sure. And there was a lot of violence, exploding bodies of blood, like that would never happen with those kind of guns, and you know, shooting someone this way and them going that way for no reason. But all in all, I mean, that's what's the best part, is it's fun. It's, you know, you take it for what it is, and you gotta appreciate every part of it.
Yeah.
And just, you know, you gotta be cheering for those 2 guys, you know, the whole time. And I think it does a good job of that. And if you like Quentin Tarantino and you like that kind of film, then you're gonna love this
gotta go
movie
see it.
because it's awesome. So I was definitely more impressed than I
Yeah,
thought.
it was great. I loved it.
So that's the end of our first episode of 2013, and as we told you on Tuesday, we're going to be looking back quickly instead of our normal thanks at just some of our favorite things from 2012, because we pretty much did the show most of the year. Our 1 year anniversary is coming up in March, but I wanted to quickly talk about games, but if you want to go first with kind of just your favorite things.
Yeah, we're just going to, we always try to review a movie per week. I think there were 1 or 2 weeks where we, weren't able to see a movie because they were just that bad. We didn't want to spend money because we didn't have Movie Pass yet. So, we've also got to do some crazy fun things, and, I'm just going to give my top 3 experiences. My one, not even experiences, just other things we've also reviewed. The Newsroom, I love that show.
Yeah.
And, it's another thing, just like, Django Unchained, where it's kind of, you're going to love it or hate it, and I think we both fell into the category of loved it, and that was one of those shows where I actually went and watched it at its time and, didn't catch it on demand or anything like that, and I really enjoyed my time with that, and I can't wait to see that come back. But some of the best things about doing this podcast were the events, the on-site things that we did. Just to go back, if you haven't watched it, if you're one of our friends, you have to watch the video of me doing the sci-fi speed dating at the Philadelphia Comic-Con. That was just something I never thought I would do, and I can say that I did, and it was a really fun event. Got me out of my shell, kind of enjoyed it. Then another thing that was almost as scary, but not quite, was when we did the Run for Your Lives 5K. We're looking into possibly doing it again. It was a great experience. I was in the worst amount of pain.
And it was only scary
afterwards.
because we had to run and not because of the zombies.
Yeah, the zombies were fine. I mean, actually, when they were coming at you, it was frightening, and all the different obstacles. I think that was an awesome event, and love the fact that we were able to do that.
Yep.
And I think that video is always something I'm going to look back on. And those 2 things in particular are things they were just so fun and so out of my normal comfort zone and things like that I really just enjoyed those things. So
yeah, awesome. And one thing I just thought of too is like a lot of the experiences or the things that we got to see and experience kind of as a result of doing the show, but didn't really review, like Doctor Who. We watched back on that, and just other shows and stuff and movies that we caught just because we wanted to.
We kind of love Walking Dead.
Comics.
Yeah, comics. Absolutely.
We did just because we kind of wanted to be.
Yeah, I'm almost caught up on the Walking Dead comics. I'm
it's crazy.
just almost. It's nuts.
A lot of stuff.
Other things, Lock and Key. I just found and things like that. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. Doctor Who, especially. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely
Christmas
awesome.
episode was great.
I didn't get to see it yet. I will watch it.
What?
I know, right? So my top 3 games, because we thought about this, and there weren't too many games, as many games as I thought that we would have reviewed. And the problem is, we're so busy doing the show and doing other things in our lives that
it's hard to
play
get
games.
Movies,
I feel like it's so hard now.
Movies an hour and 45 minutes, 2.5 hours, you're done. A game to really get behind, it's you have to put like 8 to 12, or really.
In college it was easy. Yeah, it's a little hard.
Yeah.
But for what it's worth, the top 3 for me were Assassin's Creed 3, awesome game. I kind of fell off the Assassin's boat after the first one, wasn't really a fan of it, as many weren't, and then just kind of never really fell back in. As a result of the show, we picked up the third, and really, really enjoyed it. I played more of that probably than most games that we reviewed, because I played it after, and whatnot. Number 2 is Guild Wars 2.
Yeah, it's good.
As much as it hurts me, we didn't play as much as we should have, because I want to pick it up again. It's just like I can never find the time. I think it did some amazing things for the MMO genre.
And you can, because there's no subscription fee, and that's why the game is fantastic.
I still have not picked up the Mists of Pandaria, so it definitely kept me off of WoW, which I guess is a good testament for my time. And then number 1 for me was Journey, which is a game that I think we thanked, but we never really played a formal review.
Yeah, I only watched you play it early.
And it's more of an experience than a game, but I just was blown away by being able to be surprised by games, because there's so many games, like Call of Duty Black Ops we played, which was great, but it's Call of Duty and it's the same thing. Halo, great,
different.
But Halo.
It's like Cabin in the Woods was for my movie going experience. It was
to do that and not surprise me by the graphics or anything, but just surprise me by the experience. I think is a really cool thing. So
and the one thing that kind of end not on not on the best note, but I think the worst thing of 2012 was anything with Resident Evil before.
It's true. I had a lot of experiences
we
with
reviewed
that.
the game, we saw the movie, and hated both. So maybe
hope they don't come out with
2013 will be a better year for.
they have a comic.
They probably do, but
yeah, hopefully it's
oh,
better
it was
for
so bad.
Resident Evil.
That was the
It's
worst
depressing.
game we played, and I think probably the worst movie we've seen. I really hated them both.
To look back.
Yeah.
But thanks for watching all of 2012. We have new episodes obviously coming out next week and for 2013, so make sure you keep tuning in. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.